in because you guessed it, it is kickoff Thursday in the NFL, and we are already into week 2. So we got some storylines, some picks, some predictions, all the things. You joined the right podcast on a Thursday before kickoff. So no better place to
Yeah.
be, right, Tubby?
No, yeah. I mean, where else would you want to be? Right before
Yeah.
kickoff, joining the W Sports podcast to get their insight of what's going to happen tonight and part of the stuff for the future.
For the future, that's right. And here's the thing: Tubby is going to be on location with probably the biggest matchup in college football this
Yeah.
weekend, of course. So we'll get more into that here soon. My wife
Yeah.
is actually in Pittsburgh. She's driving to PNC Park right now. Just she was going there for work trip, and her and I both had the same thought: you got to go to the stadium. So she's going to
Right.
the game tonight. She's going to be one of the 8,000 fans that have purchased a ticket. I guarantee it.
So she's going to get to watch Skeens pitch against the Dodgers.
Dude, I don't know that she even realizes it. It's in so I think it'll be a
Whoa.
good atmosphere just because of Dodgers fans. I don't know how they are in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, but they're massive in Kansas City. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Dodgers fans, they're everywhere. So yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
and to top it off, she's wearing a Puerto Rico Roberto Clemente jersey.
Now that's even
I'm
better.
telling you, I know. So if you happen to be in Pittsburgh tonight and you see someone who has a Roberto Clemente jersey, that's not going to narrow it down enough. But one of those might be my wife. Just saying.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so well, let's jump into it. Hopefully, all your fantasy drafts are done. I did my last one. I got snuck into a fourth league yesterday.
Oof.
I know, and I got Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. So, and I told myself I'm doing this
Hey,
draft differently. I'm not
yeah.
going to take the same guys. So I made myself take new guys.
I did that the other night. I picked a team that I went with a different draft strategy than I normally would. I mean, it was still the same, but like player wise, I took
Hmm.
guys that I don't have on any other teams, and I was
Yeah,
like, okay, I don't know how I feel about it, but we'll see.
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. At least we spread out. We diversified our fantasy football portfolios. Hopefully, y'all did that too.
Yeah.
We may get into some of that advice as we go into today, but we're going to kick off today with some predictions and some of the things already. Hit that subscribe button because that is the best way to support the channel. It's absolutely free. It'll always be free for us, and it will just help you never miss an episode. So, just saying.
Right? Yeah. Make sure you hit that
No,
notification bell also.
boom. Yes, and throw your thoughts, questions, your predictions in the chat too. Tubby, he's one who can see it between the two of us, so he'll try to keep up with it. So thank you all again
Mhm.
for just jumping in the chat as we did that today. But let's kick off, Tubby. The biggest storyline I have is who do you think is going to be the MVP this year in the NFL?
I think it's going to be Joe Burrow.
Burrow. Okay.
I think that they do enough to sneak into the playoffs. We know that offense is going to be dynamic. I mean,
Hmm.
Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, that offense is going to be so good, and they're going to be on the field. The offense is a
Well, the
lot because
whole
the
time.
defense, yeah,
They're
defense
going to be
isn't
off the
any
field
good.
quick.
Yes, so I think the numbers, well, the numbers he put up last year, if they would have made it to the playoffs, I think he probably would have won the MVP
Hmm.
with the numbers he put up last year. So I think he puts up very similar numbers, and they make it into the playoffs, just barely one of the final wild card spots, and he wins the MVP this year.
Yeah, this year I've got Joe Burrow, and if you want me to give you a dark horse, I'm going to say Jameer Gibbs for the Lions. If he finds the
Okay.
end zone enough in an electric
Yeah.
offense, a team that should rise to the top in what is
Hmm.
becoming a two-team race, I think, or three-team race in the NFC, I think
Yeah.
you could see him sneak it if maybe Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a good battle.
My sneaky MVP is Baker Mayfield.
Ooh, I would love to see that. Let's go. Yes. Any early thoughts for rookie of the year? And I want to put a caveat here. There's a lot of running backs who are going to be in the rotation early, not necessarily a
Hmm.
starting job, but you have a lot of quarterbacks who aren't seeing the field but on week one like we have in years past. So it
Yeah,
kind of opens up the field a little bit. Who you
it
got?
does. So offensive rookie of the year, I think this year is very interesting. I know a lot of people are going to pick, not a lot, most people are going to pick Ashton Jinty. I'm not going to go with Ashton Jinty because I don't think the offensive line is good enough. I think he's going to have a solid year, but if I'm going to go with someone, I'm going to go with, and it's going to sound homer, I'm going to go Matthew Golden for the Green Bay Packers. I think he
Tony Homer.
cements himself as the number one wide receiver in that offense. We know the offense is a top 5 at worst offense in the NFL. He cements himself. He puts up some massive numbers. If I had to take someone else, it's going to be Omari and Hampton for the Chargers.
I do like the Omarion Hampton pick. Give me offensive rookie of the year is Travis Hunter. I think he just he's got the name, he's got the brand recognition. I like that quite a bit, and I think he's going to get the consistent time too. And it's going to be hard.
Offense.
And yes,
Yeah.
it's offensive and defensive,
Hmm.
but it's going to be hard not to recognize what he does on the offensive side, assuming he does have a productive year while still
Yeah.
playing, nickel corner and all that kind of stuff too. That's gonna sneak its way in there just like it did for the Heisman. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I could see that. My only worry and is the reason why I shied away from him in every fantasy draft is the amount of snaps he plays the whole game.
Hmm.
Are they going to, what they try to say? Oh, well, he's gonna start the season on defense, but he's gonna be like second or third string, so he's not gonna be out there all the time. Or is he gonna
Yeah,
be out
can't.
there on both sides consistently and potentially set himself up for injury? And that's
Yeah, I
where I
hope
get,
not.
yeah. I mean, if I was him, I know he's a great corner. I'm playing him at wide receiver because you have a franchise quarterback that has not produced like everyone expected him to.
Hmm.
Outside of
He's got
Brian
talent
Thomas
now.
Jr., yeah, you got Brian Thomas Jr., who was an incredible wide receiver last year, and I expect every bit of what he did last year, even more this year.
Hmm.
You had the questions at running back. Who's the running back? Is it Etienne, Tootin, or is it Big B? I think that he needs that extra weapon. He needs that extra big time weapon. Put him out there, play him 80% on offense and maybe 20% of the snaps on defense, and let him go out there and show
Hmm.
why he was considered, one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver in
Hmm.
college football last year.
Yeah. If I have a backup, I can't. This won't work. But give me JJ McCarthy. I know it doesn't count, but the
Yeah.
dude, he obviously missed all of last year, and I think of
Mm-hmm.
all the quarterbacks, I think he can have the best year, the first year playing on the
First,
field
yeah,
quarterbacks this year.
yeah. No, I got you.
So just throwing that out there. All right. Any? Do you have any defensive picks? It's just so hard for me to choose. I don't know if I can narrow it down, but I'd love to have your thoughts on it.
Are we talking rookie or just over or both?
Just let's start with rookie because yeah, let's start
Rookie,
with that one.
defensive rookie of the year. I'm gonna go. I mean, it's hard not to pick Abdul Carter. I think Abdul Carter was one of the most NFL
Hmm.
ready players when it comes to, especially when it comes to pass rush. But I'm
Hmm.
gonna go with one that I don't think anyone's gonna talk about, and he dropped in the draft due to an injury, but is now healthy and is a starting corner for the Cardinals, and that's Will Johnson.
Okay, I like that one. Yeah, it's so hard to pick up. I'll go defensive player of the year. I I think just with the hype, maybe it's the green that's sticking out, but I think you get a guy who is really mad at his other team wanting to show off. Give me Micah Parsons to absolutely pin his ears back and absolutely put up the numbers that represent what it is. And I think he can
Yeah,
stay healthy too. That's the hardest
yeah.
part with some of these guys is staying healthy on the defensive side is such an uphill battle.
And then now, I mean, this year compared to last year or maybe the year before, he actually has a very productive opposite edge rusher. I mean,
Hmm.
taking nothing away from DeMarcus Lawrence, but over the last couple of years, DeMarcus Lawrence had tailed off considerably. Rashawn
Hmm.
Gary still in his 20s, you know, coming off a down year, but I think a big part of it was him being double teamed most of the time because they had no other defensive edge rusher on that team.
Hmm.
Now you put him on one side, put Michael Parsons on the other. Oh, watch out!
Cubby's ready.
I'm so ready.
So fun. Yeah, it's great. This is probably how the connection. I just got a notification on my phone that absolutely disrupted everything.
I got you now. We're good. I can't hear you now.
Are we back? Are we back?
We're good.
Good lord. I should have turned on the do not disturb or the focus, for a minute.
Yeah.
So ready to keep going. So we just left off Michael Parsons. All right. So were
Yeah.
you stamping that one, saying, "Yep, double up on that one"?
Absolutely. That's who I had as my defensive player of the year. Just because, like you said, I think he's mad. I think he's ready to go. And the defense, I think that Jeff Halfley runs is
Hmm.
very suited to what Michael Parsons is good at. they're not dropping the edge rushers back in coverage or anything. They say pin your ears back, go get the quarterback, and that's what Mike Parsons is good at.
Yeah, well, I love it. Any other predictions you want to throw out there? The hardest one I have is Coach of the Year because it should be Andy Reid,
Yeah,
but that's fine.
yeah. I know. I mean, Andy Reid probably should win it every year.
Exactly,
Just
but he
saying.
never does.
Yeah. No. First coach fired.
First coach fired. That's a fun
I,
one.
I think if we connect here, I think we both probably have the same one. If you think about it, I mean, to me, it's not super hard because there is a lot of like new coaches
Hmm.
and guys that are only like 1 or 2 years, so it's typically not those, but it's one guy been there for like 4 years. They have an absolute train wreck of a quarterback room. Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, I don't know.
I
Just for
mean,
whatever reason, I think they drag their feet so much.
yeah,
If they stumble out of the gate and can't put it together, I think Dolphins are going to put the heat
yeah,
up a little bit. That was my thought, but I
I,
don't. I agree. Should the Browns be? Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
First one, GM, everybody, ownership, just clean it out.
And then
Tell the team.
another very interesting one is if Cincinnati stumbles out the gate,
Mhm.
does Zach Taylor
Taylor.
is done enough to retain that job and then go, okay, we know this is a common occurrence. We expect him to pick it up. But if
Mhm.
you stumble out the gate again, like last year, it very well could bite you in the butt and kick you out of the playoffs like it did, losing week 1 to the Patriots. So if you
Yeah.
lose week 1 to the
To the
Browns this
Browns?
year, if I'm GM, I'm like, okay, enough of this. Yeah, out, guy. Sorry,
All right.
I'm not giving you anything because you 2 years in a row you lose to the Patriots with Jacoby Brissett, and now the Cleveland Browns with the 40-year-old
Nobody.
Joe Flacco.
And yeah, no identity. Yeah, team is rough.
Yeah,
But unless Miles Garrett plays all the positions, maybe that could
that's
happen.
true. Yeah,
Yeah,
put him at running back. You know the guy can
yeah,
do it.
yeah. Okay, so how about this? We are going to predict some of the games, but Browns Bengals. Who you got?
I'm gonna pick the Bengals. I
Yeah,
just
I think
don't.
that's good as well.
I mean, if we go off of history, it's gonna be the Browns, just because the Bengals can't win. I mean, what is it? Since Joe Burrow has been in the league, first 2 weeks of the season, they're like 1-12.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy, but
Hmm.
I think that they right the ship this year, and I don't think Cleveland has anything for them.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. How about Cowboys Eagles? We're both wearing Eagles. Some Eagles green today. Just depends on what
Yeah,
year you're looking at the uniforms. Who you got?
yeah, it's the Eagles, and this one's not hard.
You like? I think it was Stephen A. Smith said 14 points. They're going to blow out the Cowboys.
I
I think there's a
mean,
lot. I don't know about 14 points, but I do.
yeah,
And weather could play a factor in this game.
hmm
But I think the Eagles, as good and strong as they are, watch out, Cowboys. I mean, they have to stop the run. They have to make the Eagles
yeah.
one dimensional, and I don't know that they can do that. Give me the Eagles for
I,
sure.
I'm just giving you a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
see if you can stop it. See if Kenny Clark was the question to the defense, like you said it was, Jerry Jones.
Maybe Jerry Jones is right. Man, there were some fans that were absolutely clowning him at the last couple preseason games that he was out there. It was great.
Yeah,
All right, we got Chiefs Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I
So
like
it's
that.
technically a home game for the Chargers. So I don't know how
Mhm.
that works out, but Chiefs are a 3.5 point favorites. Who starts the season off strong?
It's I'm gonna go with the Chiefs just because there is still some questions for the Chargers defense, and then how well does that offense, the shifting of the offensive line, work with Rashawn Slater being out for the season is
Hmm.
still, and then plus outside of Ladd McConkey, who's going to be the other weapon to step up for the Chargers.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs as well. I feel like there's a lot of momentum for the Chiefs, whether it's,
Hmm
hey, we didn't win it last year, we're hungry again, or maybe it's the
Yeah,
Taylor Swift and the engagement that's got a little bit extra excitement. I don't know.
I'm
I don't know.
giving them a little extra juice.
Yeah, we'll take whatever we can because we miss being in the Super Bowl. It's been too long. It's too long winning the Super Bowl, so I think that's what
Yeah,
it
there
is.
you go.
Uh, okay, so week one storylines. Let's kind of lean into that. What are some of the main stories that you are excited to watch as a fan, outside of obviously your Packers?
Yeah, one game I think that is very interesting, and I know it's going to sound weird, is going to be the Carolina Jacksonville game. You got two quarterbacks, and Bryce
Hmm.
Young and Trevor Lawrence, who really need to get off to a great start this year.
Hmm.
Both have underperformed in their careers. Who's going to be that quarterback to get off on the right foot and start proving that you can be that franchise quarterback. I mean, Carolina, you bring in Ted McMillan and, Xavier Legette, step up. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, you have to do something because it's just at this point, we've talked about the last couple of years, the disappointment of what we've seen from Trevor Lawrence over the last 2 seasons when
Hmm.
we expected, they made it to the playoffs, then they won that playoff game after, historic comeback, and then it was just come out and fell flat on his face the last 2 seasons. He needs to find that extra gear, that
Hmm.
extra, whatever it is to get him over the top. And I love Liam Cohen. We've seen what he's done with quarterbacks. So maybe that was the right pick for them to go in there and try to change some things with Trevor Lawrence and get him back on that track of being a franchise quarterback. I like the matchup of two young quarterbacks trying to make work their way into franchise quarterback status.
Yeah, right there and with you on that. I'm going to say just the overall theme is great matchups. NFL, good
Yeah,
job on picking the
yeah.
games. You get the Commanders, the Giants, so you get a little bit of new, a little bit of the
Mm-hmm.
up and coming from last year. The Jets and the Steelers. Is this a revenge game for Aaron Rodgers? Is this a
Or
revenge game for Justin Fields? I don't know. I don't. Am I going to watch it? Probably not. I mean, this is
yeah,
the
right.
lowest over under at 37 and a half in this game, and Pittsburgh is expected to win. But even outside of that,
Yeah,
the legit games that I'm looking at here, Lions,
yeah,
Packers in the afternoon, must watch TV. You can turn on the Bills, Ravens after that. That's an incredible matchup. And then it's still even exciting to watch the Vikings and Bears on Monday Night Football because is Caleb Williams for real or not? And then you
yeah,
still see what is this JJ McCarthy. There's so many great storylines to watch in
yeah,
week one that honestly, you're going to look at the Dolphins and Colts, Raiders, Patriots, and Saints and Cardinals, and you're going to think, yeah, I'm not turning that one on. I
yeah.
the there's so many other good games. So and they
Um,
distributed them well. I'm
yeah,
not a big fan of the Friday games. I'm cool, but I'm cool with the
yeah,
extra game. And even college football did it last week. So
yeah. I mean, Texas Rams.
it's true.
I mean, there's some really good games to start the
Hmm.
season. Seattle and 49ers, division rival right out the bat, like we have in the
Yeah,
NFC North. I think there's some really good games. And yeah, like you said, NFL did really good on the matchups for week one.
yeah. Biggest fantasy take in week one that you have.
Mike Evans will be the number one fantasy wide receiver this week.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that is a good one. I should have thought about this before I asked you the question. I don't have a good one, but I hope all my picks work out. That's one of my biggest takeaways. So that's it.
I hope I go 4-0 is what you're saying.
In our ESPN league, I got predicted to be the 10th out of or 9th out of 10 teams or whatever. It's terrible. So I don't even understand that. My draft is incredible, and whoever at ESPN doesn't know football doesn't know football.
I mean,
Also,
running
NFL
back.
hated my team.
Yeah, I guess everyone's just dogging on Jimothy's fantasy teams this year.
Yeah, I don't get that. So, well, time will tell. 4 teams this year. At the end of the year, I bet I win 1 game, and I'm in the championship game in 2, and I make the playoffs in all 4. That's my prediction.
All right, there you
What
go.
more do you want? 1 for 4.
4 for 4.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the college football. We're into week number 2. Not nearly the same top 10 matchups we had week 1,
No.
but there is an all-time matchup, and it is at 6:30. So we're going to get to that one. It's the OU Michigan. It's only the second time we have ever seen that matchup. It's 1978 or something like that in the Orange Bowl. You saw these two teams, but we're going to get to see them back-to-back years. Reminds me of OU Ohio State or OU Notre Dame. It's great for
Love
football.
it. Yeah, I love it.
What are some of the highlights or the key games that you're looking at this weekend, or even storylines headed into week 2?
I think. Let's see. There's a couple of games I highlight. I think the Kansas-Missouri game. I love that they're playing this big rival, Big 12, former Big 12 rival, the state borderline, all that. I think that is going to be a really fun matchup to see. Then, we've already mentioned Oklahoma, Michigan. The Kansas State Army game, I think, is a very intriguing one with how bad Kansas State played last week. Army loses to Tarleton State. And so, which team shows up? I mean, because Kansas State hasn't shown to be anything, I think, what a majority of people expected Kansas State to be. And then your Army, you lose on, double overtime field goal to Tarleton State. Who's going to rebound? Yeah, granted, Kansas State did win, but they didn't win.
No, it was not good.
Yeah, so I think it's just kind of the bounce back for some of these teams. How do you bounce back from early, week one disappointments? I mean, Texas, yeah, you're playing San Jose State, but
Absolutely should
Arch,
destroy.
yeah, Arch did not look great last week.
Yeah.
Could it be because Ohio State's defense is that good, or could it be that he's just a young quarterback that is getting a feel for being the guy? And
Hmm.
if they go out and play flat again and win, but just barely, I think it's more of a writing on the wall for the season going forward because n- next couple weeks after this, you've got Florida and Oklahoma coming up in a couple weeks, and if you're not on your A game, like I said, I think there's a very realistic possibility by the time they're done, they have 2 wins and 3 losses at through the first 5 weeks of the season.
And that could be a massive, massive stumbling
Hmm.
block. I don't know that you
Yeah,
can turn that one around enough.
no,
I'm right there with you as far as the Texas game. How can they piece that back together? Florida State shouldn't
hmm
have any issues. Iowa State.
yeah,
Somehow this over under is 42. I don't know what explosions they're expecting from these two teams, but it's always a close game, so definitely worth the watch. I'm curious to
yeah,
see if SMU can continue this run in their ACC world against
yeah,
a Baylor team that got shoved around quite a bit last week.
hmm
But one of the bigger ones, or what I want to scroll down here, is how close can Oklahoma State keep Oregon? And because it's not supposed to be close. And I'm not
no,
hating on OSU to hate on OSU, but I'm just saying this team is in a terrible, terrible recruitment spot. They're not a program of what they were even a decade ago, and I don't know how they're going to come out of it with what they have on the staff right now. And I just wonder,
yeah.
is this one of those things that no, this is one of the big dogs right now, and we can't keep up with them. Or
I
put
mean,
that seat heat up a little bit more.
you've already had the sparring of the words from the coaches. I mean, Gundy's calling out Oregon, Oregon firing back at Gundy. I think it's dumb because all you're
Yeah,
doing now is just poking the bear. Like,
yeah.
hey, you spending too much money. Well, yeah, we're trying to win championships. That's what you got to do in college football nowadays, which
Hmm.
is sad, but that's the truth of the fact.
That's where we're at
And you're talking about an Oklahoma State team that now you're without your starting quarterback for 3 to 4 weeks.
already.
You averaged 3 yards a carry last week against whoever you played. I don't even remember who it was. And
I can't remember either, but it was not
yeah,
a good team.
no, was not a good team. And so, it was UT Martin. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I, I think the 27.5 is very fitting, and I expect it to be more, honestly.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, the good news is for Oklahoma State, they'll have a bounce back game against a nail biter versus Tulsa next week. So
Hey, don't count Tulsa. Real
that's
quick,
actually they get a bye week.
did you see the 80-yard punt from the Tulsa punter last week?
That's pretty good. No, I did not. That's pretty
From
good.
the goal line, 63 yards in the air, only rolled out 17 yards.
That's pretty good. Usually, if you see
Yeah,
80, it rolled or almost
yeah.
half of that.
No,
That's pretty good.
it was a very impressive punt. Yeah, I saw it, of course, on the Pat McAfee show. He popped it up because
He's a
Pat loves
punter.
special teams. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it was an impressive punt. I
yeah,
was like, holy cow, 80-yard punt, only 17-yard rollout. Okay.
yeah. All right, we'll take it. One question before we get to the Oklahoma Michigan game. The college game day is going to be there this weekend.
Hmm.
Can ULM do it again? They did it back in I think '07 against Nick
They
Saban.
did.
They weren't even an FBS team, I believe, at the time. I think they were FCS. I think is what Nick Saban at least considered them.
Yeah.
Uh, can they do it again?
I don't know what they have on their team.
Nothing good.
Yeah, I imagine it's not great, but I'm not going to put it past. I mean, that Alabama team that showed up last week in the last, or is the laziest Alabama team I've seen in the last 20 years. The
Hmm.
way they went out there and the lack of effort throughout the game, guys jogging to try to make tackles, was pathetic, honestly. And I can understand why Nick Saban is, not happy with it because he's still technically part of that, university. But yeah,
Hmm.
Kalen DeBoer, that seat got super hot because those guys did not show up to play at all.
Yeah. Well, if it helps, last week ULM beat 29-0 St. Francis, who I believe made the tournament last year in basketball, and they're going to be D3 in 2026. So I don't know if that tells you quality right now where they're at, but that is the reality.
Yeah,
So
that don't tell
just
me
gonna put it
nothing.
there. That doesn't tell you nothing. Okay, well, I'm just trying to give you some basketball knowledge. So, all right, let's move. I don't think Alabama does get the win,
Yeah,
but that is a program like you said on the last episode. It does not look good. But
yeah,
two programs who are are breathing a little bit easier this year compared to last year is Oklahoma and Michigan. It's the games at
yeah.
6:30 ABC. You got John Mateer and I just blanked on my name.
Bryce Underwood.
Underwood. I knew to start with a U. So one non-freshman, one true freshman quarterback who had a good game against New Mexico last week, but Oklahoma's a 5.5 point favorite. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, this is a fun matchup. It's two teams, strength versus strength, run game versus a defense. I I think the biggest turning point, the biggest matchup is going to be the rebuilt Michigan offensive line versus the veteran, high-powered Oklahoma defensive line.
Hmm.
Can they get to and put some pressure on the young quarterback to make him make the plays and not allow them to run the football?
Hmm.
At 6 yards of carry, yeah, probably not going to happen. They played New Mexico. They got to force the young quarterback to be, the reason they win. And if that's what it comes down to, I think Oklahoma wins this game. The defense for Oklahoma didn't look the best last week, but I very well big possibility it was due to they threw out a vanilla defense like they threw out a vanilla
They
offense.
do last year too.
Don't tip your hand to, especially when you got a team like Michigan on the cusp with a great defensive coordinator and Wink Martindale there. You don't want him to have any, thing to use to try to, game plan, some of the new plays that Arbuckle is bringing into the offense. I think the offense of line for Oklahoma is going to be a big question. It didn't get great push last week against Illinois State. The run game was, what we've seen the last few years from Oklahoma run game, nothing spectacular. But Jaden Ott sounds like he is a full go and is going to play quite a bit this week. Michael Fasusi, the starting left tackle, is healthy, ready to go. Garrett Simmons, the starting right tackle, is healthy, ready to go. So you've got some pieces on the offensive line that are healthy that were held out last week just due to precautionary reasons. John Mateer, I think, is the biggest X factor. If he comes out and
100%.
plays like John Mateer, I don't know if Michigan can win this game because of the high-powered offense that he can put up. He attempts last, not yards per completion, but 10 yards attempt last
Hmm.
week passing. I think that
FCS team, but yes.
yes, no, yeah, but I mean that's just the attempts. I mean, you throwing it over 10 yards for an Oklahoma team last year, where it was 5.5 yards per attempt because you're throwing every single little swing pass and not trying to take the top off the field. We're seeing a different dynamic already when it comes to play calling for Oklahoma that we haven't seen. And you've got the wide receivers that can go out there and put up those plays like Deion Burks. We saw Keontae Lewis put up, have a career night, 9 receptions, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Hmm.
I think that Oklahoma wins this game. I think it'll be, somewhat close. I love the 5.5. I think it's a great number. I think Oklahoma wins probably by a touchdown, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a mass game. The biggest thing for me, the matchup's the opposite of what you said. For
Mm-hmm.
me, it's Oklahoma's offensive line versus Michigan's defensive front
Yeah.
because OU, for the record, I think it's time to move on from Bill Bedenbaugh and from DeMarco Murray. I see
Yes.
some of the mistakes that these running backs are
Mm-hmm.
making, and these are dumb mistakes that you should be
Yep.
making at this level. It's vision, it's knowing the simple phrase, you see butt, you
But
cut it up.
cut it up.
If in doubt, you take it
You
out.
cut
And
it up.
every time it seems like, no, we take it out. We're going to be more
Yeah.
speedy. And you cannot do that in the SEC. They weren't even playing SEC last week, and they were still making bad reads.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line, I'm moving on. Give me someone who
Yeah.
give me an offensive lineman from the NFL and who's teach people how to do this.
Yeah.
That's what my biggest thing is. It doesn't matter if you cannot.
Yeah.
If you have no time, it doesn't matter how good Joe Montero is. He could be the best player on the field. You saw that last year in the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes. 0 time, one-dimensional team, you're done. You
Yep.
cannot win. And if you look at some of the matchups last week, the teams that were bet in the good team matchups, right? Like the teams that won ran the ball
Yeah.
effectively. The teams that lost were one-dimensional. I mean,
Yeah.
Clemson, Texas, Miami and
Alabama.
Notre Dame. I mean, you look at that. Also, side note, Notre Dame has some of the absolutely trash, worst uniform pants I've ever seen. It looks like a bunch of baby poop out there on the field. It's terrible. Fix it. It's not good tradition. It looks bad.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
I agree. No,
Sideways there. Sorry.
no, I absolutely agree. We talked about this last year. We thought the offensive side of the ball, the coaching staff should have just been cleaned out. The
Hmm.
John Finley. I mean, I think Emmett was the only one that you could potentially argue because that was only his first second year there. So, but yeah, the rotation of running backs is just
It's
absolutely
trash.
ridiculous and stupid the way he does this. But yeah, it is going to be a very interesting matchup for both for the trenches, both sides, both teams. The one big
Hmm.
thing for Michigan is the first half of that game, you were without your star pass rusher because of a absolutely ridiculous targeting call called upon you called in that game. It was terrible call. It was maybe called roughing the passer. That was not targeting by the letter of the law, and the fact that he has to sit out this game, the first half of this game is crazy. So at least advantage Oklahoma for the first half because you don't have that edge rusher coming at Mateer. But yeah, I think this will really show what both teams are made of going forward this season. This is a high powered matchup at the beginning of the season. A young quarterback with a solid run game, and you got a really good quarterback with a we don't know type of run game.
Hmm.
Who comes out on top? Two really good defenses. It's going to be a dogfight.
It's gonna be okay. Well, I'm excited about it. Tell me, you couldn't go to the game, so
I do.
what are you looking forward to the most? What time are you showing up? You're hoping to show up any tailgating that just getting the
Yeah.
whole fan experience because it sounds like there's gonna be quite a good representation from Michigan.
Yeah, no, so we'll probably be there about 1:30. We're gonna miss the game day stuff
Man,
due to
but still, you're still there
some
early.
scheduling. Yeah, we're still there early. We're gonna do some walking around. They got like a big like party going on afterwards outside of the stadium. But there's one thing that we look forward to every single time we go to that game, and it's the Cut Bop food truck. If you've never had Cut Bop, I'm telling you, it's life
Go.
changing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
We get there, go in early. We go get our cut bop, hit the seats, eat the cut bop before the game starts, and now we're ready to go for the game.
It does sound awesome. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'm definitely jealous. I'm going to be watching the game. I have a work event from 4 to 6, and I realized
Oh,
I was like, "Wait, what
wait.
time is the game at?" And I checked 6:30. We should be
Just,
just fine. If I have to, I'll listen to the first part of it on the radio on the way back. I'll drive it
yeah,
home, but I will make sure I get to see that because it's the best game of the weekend. So it's just nice when
yeah,
it's Oklahoma, and I hope it lives up to it. Last time we saw this
yes.
much hype for an OU game, it was the OU Tennessee game.
It's the game.
Completely different story going on this time. So let's
yeah,
make it right.
yeah. Let's not bring that game up.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
Jackson Arnold, how does he do this weekend?
Well, they're not playing anyone big, so I would hope that he would play better. But we saw him against bad teams last year, so
Yeah,
who
that's
knows?
true. Did you see Missouri State? They're welcome to the FBS last week.
Yeah.
What is Lincoln Riley doing? How dare you, sir? They're
Just put the
brand
absolute
new.
smack down on him. Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to document the game, like some videos and stuff, and
Do it.
I'll try to throw it up on here, Sunday or so if I get some stuff
Yeah.
put together, and make a little video of the experience.
Love it. All right. Well, guys, that is the W Sports Podcast. Again, hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it after the fact, so that way you don't miss any of our future episodes. We're going to bring 2 episodes per week, most weeks, depending on schedules, of course, and travel, things
Mhm.
like that. But that's our goal is 2 episodes per week where we bring football, college, NFL, and some baseball there too. So
Yep,
that's it. That's the show. Anything else
that's
I
it.
missed, Tubby?
Just a few shout outs real quick. We got Life in Motion came in, Lawrence Billings, Patricia, and Jordan Brockman. Thank you for joining in on the live. Hit that smash button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and come back next week.
Appreciate you, Jordan. That's a buddy of mine. I know Jordan. I
Okay,
appreciate you, man.
nice.
So, all right. Well, that's it. We'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
See ya.